Hey YouTube, this is my video on how I repaired my a.o.smith electric water heater, 50 gallon. First, you want to make sure the power is off to the water heater, turn it off at the breaker. And then next I started connecting the garden hose to the water heater connection at the bottom. And I have it draining to my floor drain in my utility closet in my basement. If you don't have a nearby floor drain, then you can run the hose out your garage or front door, wherever you have an access point to the outside, and let it drain in the yard. And then you open the hot water tap closest to the water heater, so that was in the basement bath. I then turned off the cold water supply to the water heater, and then opened the expansion valve, and I opened all the other hot water taps in the house as well, just to alleviate pressure. Now that hose there, I do have it incorrectly, so I'm gonna call myself out. So you'll see where I have it laying down flat in a few moments, like that. So that way the water can properly drain out of it, and the water's now coming out. A little background, I recorded this video back in August. Finally got all my edits done to it. I had originally was just gonna drain the water heater and fill it back up, but I dry fired the elements, so that's why I had to replace them. And dry fire basically means I accidentally turned on the water heater at the breaker before it was full of water once I refilled it. So it was a rookie error that I did. Of course, I'm not a plumber, just a homeowner and a student of YouTube University. And there's the water heater wrench. And of course, that's the reminder, make sure your power's off, tank is fully drained, and your cold water supply is off. And then that's the thermostat and heating element. The kit I had bought came with thermostats, but my thermostat is good because this is a 1-year-old water heater. So the only thing I'll be changing out is the top and bottom heating element. And even though only the top element was damaged when I dry fired, I'm gonna go ahead and change both, so that way I know both elements are in pristine condition. And we do have hard water here in my area. I'm in the Ohio Valley area, so it's actually recommended that you inspect the elements, every so often anyway. They do corrode, and they get lime scale. Eventually, I'd love to have a water softener installed one of these days, so maybe that would help. And I'm just testing, and of course I know it's already off, but I'm just doing that for you all so you can see it's off. And that's why I went to the light switch earlier, so you could see what it was like when it did detect the current. Now that's the water heater wrench there. Just turn it lefty-loosey. It's a water heater element wrench. And then that should unscrew the element after you've unscrewed the wires to it, of course. Then you want to just take a paper towel, clean out the area where the element was. That's the old element. That's the one where it was dry fired. You see it's burnt up. It's no good. That's the new element, shiny and new. And my water heater, my particular water heater, takes the 4500 watt element, so that's what I'm installing. You'll have to look at your instruction manual or on your water heater to determine, or info from your manufacturer on what you need specifically. And then of course, righty-tighty, that'll tighten it back. And I got the elements from Lowe's. It was really called a tune-up kit, where you get the thermostats too, and I got that just in case if the thermostats ever go bad. but I won't be using those. So there, I'm just connecting the wires back, and it's going to show you how the wire should be connected. That's the thermostat there in red above. I have it set to 125 on each element. You want to make sure each element is set to the same temperature. And the standard for water heaters, I think, is 120 degrees, but I just like mine at 125, but the recommendation is 120. And there, I got that all screwed back in, wires connected. That's the top element and the insulation. And I'm just putting the screws back in on the cover, and then I'll move on to the bottom element. Now you'll see the bottom element really wasn't damaged from the dry fire, but like I said earlier, I'm gonna go ahead and change it. And then that way I know both elements are good. So there are the wires. And you're just gonna unscrew those. Yeah, and they come off. Yeah, there goes my water heater element wrench. And I actually got that from Ace Hardware, by the way. I didn't mention earlier, I got that water heater element wrench from Ace Hardware. But I believe there's a drill fitting also where you can use your drill, but I think it's a 3-inch element bit or something. But this worked perfectly for me. And then that's the element there. And after 1 year, you can see there's a lot of lime scale on it, calcium. So it's a good idea to go ahead and change that out. And ideally, I think it's recommended that you flush your water heater at least once a year, but I think even my plumber told me maybe twice a year would be better since we have hard water here. So I'll try to remember to do it in the spring again, and I will definitely remember not to dry fire it again. That's the new element, and then you can see there where I left the gasket from the old element on there. You don't want to do that. That's another mistake I had made, but you see I corrected myself. I took it out of there, that little pink rubber gasket, because the elements already have a gasket attached to them. And then I got the element back on there. So that's the new one. And then I'm just connecting the little wires. You want to make sure the wires are touching that little metal bar on the side of the screw. You want to push it down, make sure they're making good contact, and then tighten the screw for each one. It's only 2 screws. Then I'm just putting the cover back on. And that has a couple of screws as well, just like we did for the top one. And then we are almost there. There's the cover, and I'm just cleaning up the little area. There was a little water drippage from when I was draining it. And I recommend a good flood sensor in the area where your water heater is as well. You'll see I'll put mine, it looks like a little hockey puck. It's by Ring. It connects with my Ring alarm system, so I'll always know if there's a leak or something. So there, I'm just closing back up the expansion valve, turning on the water. It's gonna make some noise. There goes the flood sensor there. So if there's any leaks, I'll know about it. My phone will start ringing, the alarm will start making noise, and I'll know. I get messages and everything about it. That's actually how I found out last year I needed a new water heater. And there's some sounds. The water heater is filling back up. You're going to hear the high-pitched sound. There's pretty much pressure coming from the plumbing system. And you'll know the water heater is full when the hot water taps are running water like that. And you only want to turn the power back on the breaker once you know for sure that the water heater is full. So here it's full. I know it's full. All the water taps are running on hot. So water's running through them, but of course that's still cold water. And then you want to keep the taps running about 10-15 minutes to relieve any pressure in the plumbing system. That way the water isn't sputtering and, you know, passing air and all that through the faucets. Everything is set. Tank is full. Didn't take long at all for it to fill. Those are the old elements. The left one is the bottom one that was lime scale. The right one is the one that was burnt up due to my error. And then now finally that the water heater is filled, turn the power on at the breaker, and then you can see my temperature is at 125. And I thank you all so much for watching my video. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll try to answer them. I mean, I'm not a plumber or anything, but let me know what you all think. Thanks for watching. And please like and subscribe for more videos. I'll be posting real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.